Good morning, all. So we represent Whirlpool washing machine division, which is in Pondicherry. So we make washing machines. So probably this project might be so much interest to everyone here because every day your clothes runs to this one of this project. So let me introduce my team. I'm the project leader, and they are the project members of our team. So let's start with the presentation.
Yeah, this is the agenda which we have followed for our project. So basically we have followed a DMAC approach. We have classified as per the agenda. We'll get you through these titles. And we'll just explain what our product is and what is the problem. So the objective of our project is basically to improve the basket welding strength. Actually the basket is, as you can see this in this animation, the basket plays a major role in washing. Like you'll put your clothes and detergent and water, so it must be a corrosion resistance. And so our main objective of this project is like improving the welding strength of the basket and without compromising any functional requirement as per the specification. And our target, basically we had rejections of basket due to its quality of welding from 1.1%, which is a higher rate as per our rejections. And so we have shown here are the history, last 3 months data. Our project timeline is basically from February to April. So we have taken last 3 months data, and it's an average of 1.1%. So here in Whirlpool, we are following a system called zero defect culture. So basically, we are driving through zero defect. Obviously, we cannot able to drive all the defects into zero defects, but some defects which are potentially we can drive it to zero defect, which can be designed, which we can improve through design or process robustness. So for those defects which are driving zero defect culture. And this is our project team charter. And basically, as we have said, V3 or the basic main project team, and we had a supporting team. It is like a CFT team, cross-functional team. And I have to mention it here, how we have prioritized our projects. Like obviously in a traditional methodology, we used to prioritize our projects depending upon the number of occurrences or number or cost involved in that problem. So here in Whirlpool, how we have categorized the problem is like we use a tool called the quality assurance matrix. In quality assurance matrix, we'll consolidate all the defects which are coming from customer complaints, in-house rejections, and vendor quality rejections. We'll consolidate and categorize all the defects, and we'll take 4 criteria, main criteria into the consideration, like occurrence, cost, severity, and detection. So if any defects which are occurring at the customer end, which is highly impact, and severity will be very much higher, whereas cost is also taken into account. So it's like a FMEA, we'll get a final priority index number. So with those number, we'll prioritize which defect which we have to focus on this year, and for the at least for the first half yearly, so that we'll prioritize our defects and we'll work on it. So as we have mentioned, this particular defect, if we are going to focus on this particular problem, there will be 50% of the scrap reduction. And yeah, next we can see about the problem definition.
Thank you, Nitya. The problem statement is poor welding strength of the baskets. It is ending up with the line rejection and the field quality rejection. And the best part, the basket has to rotate in 740 RPM during the spin stage. There are 2 functions in the washing machine. This part coming in there are 2 models. One is semi-automatic, another one is fully automatic. This part coming in the fully automatic model. There are 2 main functions. One is washing function, another one is spin function. So washing function, you cannot see any issue because of the welding strength quality issue. But during spins function, it's rotating 740 RPM. If the welding strength is not as per the specification, as per the customer requirement, the welding strength will come out and the cloth will fly off from the basket. So this is the important of the project. And background is problem increases along with the quantity of stainless steel basket volume increase. And design requirement also added into this, because earlier we were running with plastic basket, then we went to steel basket, where we have to accommodate more class according to the capacity of the washing machine. The past style says that the line operator or line supervisor, if he tries to increase the weld strength, he has to increase the current of the current provided to the welding. So once the current is increased, it will create black patches over the welding spot, which will end up in rust. Our customer will, in the first cycle, so customer perceives this as a rust, but it is not the rust actually. So this is the thought map. So this is a kind of YY analysis, improved version of the YY analysis tool. The thought map will give you the lateral thinking, out of the box thinking. For example, if you we start from how big is the problem and end up with the design. Sometimes it will go to the parallel path, like why should we go for the spot value? Why don't we go for screw locking kind of thing? So these kind of questions raised in this thought map. So very powerful in comparing the YY analysis. So here, how big is the problem is it is increased TCK in the field and productivity also getting affected. Another example, alternative fastening method. Why don't we go for the screwing in this instead of spot only? If you go for screwing, cloths are directly contacted with the screws, so it will damage the cloths. So finally, we thought to go for COE. It will lead to the further movement of the projects. For example, it will take you to the COE, DOE, and MSc. So this is the actual thought map we plotted there, and we cannot show it since it is a very small one. We tested that. And this is a current capability. So we thought of studying the current variation, the basket strength. The specification calls for more than 100 kg force, but from the current capability, it is, the load is measuring from 96 kg to 135 kg force. And CPK also needs some improvement. So this is a process map where you can process the excess and inputs and noises in the process. So we gone through the process. First process the sheet rolling. Sheet rolling, the excess are vapor, sheet rolling fixture and the waviness, and the Y is the basket diameter. Next process is seam forming. Here you can see the forming. Rolled wrapper and seam forming is the excess and noises also covered here. Dent and improper setting of the sheets. Another process is seam locking. Seam locking, there the inputs are edges and seam locking fixture and foreign particle in between the sheets, the location of the sheets, the noises. Then the grooving operation. After that, the spot welding. Finally, the spot welding is there. The grooved wrappers are joined together after the seam locking. The welding, spot welding taking place over the wrapper. There are 9 spot welds to join the wrappers in. This is a product map. Here also you can see the Y is equal to F(x), and here the conflicting Y while doing the pull-off load test is the black mark. If you increase the current, the black mark will appear over this part. If you reduce the current, the welding strength will go down. And these are all the noises and contributors to that. And the best part, we cut the cut sheet into 30 mm width to check the welding strength. So we put sampling tree. There you can see the one shift and one procedure and operator. We have taken 3 baskets and we have measured. There are 9 locations in the spot welding basket. 27 measurements we have taken. Here you can see the weld strength. Actually, here in the chart you can see that weld strength it is reducing in the first spots. There are 9 spots. Initial spot we are getting low value in the welding strength. So we thought of this is because of the sampling we prepare. Actually, we cut the sheet to check the weld strength. The first spot which is there near to the cutting area, it is ending up with the low value. And we thought of going for MSc to improve to shift the mean. So second MSc you can see that we have shifted the mean to 26 kg error. But here we found that the measurement variation is confounded with the location. So day-to-day measurement will have the location confounding also. So we thought of going for detecting this error in the MSc, coming MSc series.
Okay. So far what happened was thought map is a very good tool. So we use actually how the project presentation goes within Whirlpool is we go back to thought map and come back to each of the slides. So that is how thoughts drives our tools. It's not the tool which runs through. Whatever questions we are trying to answer, the thought from there drives the tools. So far MSc, I have a variation. So I have to accept it because there is a measurement variation which has to be done by operators, line operators on every shift. Okay, so with that MSc, with 26 kgf variation, whatever, any CPK test, anything upfront before this was having that variation. Whether we, specifically saying it out or not, that variation was there in all the measurement. So coming to COV, the first thing of COV idea is, okay, where should I work? I have a problem, where should I work? That is where this component variation tools we started using. First question was, should I work within the spots or between the spots, or technically within the spots or between the baskets? Because I want to understand how the noise changes, so the variation is occurring in my spot welding. So the sampling tree is useful for this. So what we try to do is we use two baskets. Oh, I thought that's a light. Yeah, we took two baskets and baskets with spots within the baskets. So when we collected the data, probably we did a control chart to see whether there is no special causes. So we eradicated the special causes, and we use this. This is a variability chart. This is a very good chart. I think few of you already used in Minitab, but JMP has much more capabilities to have multiple levels in this. So it's very clear that if you see between the baskets, the average length, not big difference, right? Two different baskets, but within the spots there is a big difference. So first area I have to work is what is changing within the spots from first spot, because it's taking place within minutes, right? Within that there is a variation in spots. So first I want to see what are the excess, again based on the process map and product map he has done. I want to see what are the excess changing that fast. So here the CFT team has already mentioned what are the things they think is changing during the process and what are the things which is constant during the process. Again, with reference to each of this, I'm just going to take those factors and going to study next. And also one more thing which I found is like the averages. Right now with measurement variation of 26 kgf and running average around 110, there is a potential that this data point can also have that measurement variation, which can go below 100. And one of the important thing why we are working on making sure this weld strength is good is, as he said, it might also end up opening up a basket is a complete machine replacement. And again, this is the appliance industry, so customer directly interacts with it and they can find the defect at the first instance. And that calls for a complete machine replacement. Again, when I go back to the thought map, there were too many questions asked. We end up going to the equipment supplier. We also went to SAIL to get their opinion. Guys, we are because SAIL and JSW are the suppliers who supply steels to us. Guys, can you help us with this? How to improve this? So one of the things they said is your seam is the problem. Can you increase the thickness of the seam? But one thing is the basket is round, so there was a limitation of how much we can increase. And obviously, a sheet metal waviness, everyone knows it cannot. There's only so much thing we can do for the waviness. So to study that one, and also we also went to VIT for all the theoretical studies. There we found that they were saying that for the current process itself, your value should be high. To validate that theory, this is not basket we used, but we directly took sheets and welded it. We just took the raw sheets from SAIL, cut it and welded it, and then we found it was coming up to 150. Then we also studied for the seam. So this components of variation study is specific. Okay, where the variation is coming from? Is it coming from the sheets or it's coming from the process? So it's very clear, right? The theoretical calculation, yeah, it's very good. But in my actual application, I'm seeing very big difference. So that is where we thought that, okay, it's obvious, a process is creating the issue. And again, the components of variation study is for the parallel path. So that is a good thing about, thought map. A lot of times what happens is, when we go sequentially, we will miss the out-of-box thinking. But thought map opens up all your thought possibilities. See, they talk about going the design improvement. For a process change, or process variation, they are talking about design change. They are talking about laser welding. So this is the advantage of this, and concurrently all the options will be driven. So when I drive concurrently, one of the easiest option was, increasing the thickness. I increase the thickness, I get a better value. But again, that increases the cost by 70 rupees per mission. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. At least by parallel path, I have some other option if something doesn't work. So based on the factors found in COV2 and COV1, we selected the factors from the process map. Okay, what are the things which is changing between the spots? So we came up with 8 factors. Again, we use fractional design. So 8 factors, we run only 16 runs. So this is nothing but a Moin form where we plan the DOE. So what are the levels we want to run and what is the current level setting as per process walk. So these are process walk parameters, because a lot of times, again, the senior most members here, you'll know the specification chart will say something and actual process running will be different. So these are the actual process parameters which was there. And again, this was defined by, when I say design factor, yes, I can manipulate that factor. When I say there's a noise factor, right now it's not manipulated. Whatever comes, it gets into the production. So again, with the thought map help and the COE helps, we see whether this shift will shift the mean or it will affect the variation. So based on that we map, and the theories of why we choose what. And since it's a fractional factorial, I have this aliasing structure which is the singularity details. And one of the critical point of starting a DOE with a Moin form is we have to have a prediction. We can't start a DOE without a prediction. Probably the chart was very big, I just cut only few things. I have to give my prediction of why I choose this and what is the prediction. Because I have to answer for both. If my prediction does not come true, I have to understand why. Because by physics everything works, right? If I increase air pressure, yeah, the well strength should be good. If it's not coming, then I have to answer why. And if my prediction is, it also helps sometimes, like if my prediction is other way around, we can also check whether the minus and plus levels have been swapped, as simple as that. So this is a 8 factor 16 run resolution 4 design. So here I can clearly study all the main effects. So my first objective is to see, can I even create what is happening in my production? That is my first objective. So based on the Moin form, this is a factor relationship diagram. Again, it looks complicated, but I've just plotted out whatever is there. So what this talks about is, see, these are the design factors, because we always what I want to do, my design factor has to rise above all the noise conditions. Then I will call it as a significant design. But I also want to make sure what is the amount of noise I put in the system, because my design factors will rise only above this. If my factors are not going to rise up, if I put very low noise, then every factor will rise above it. So to make sure we have that balance, we create a FRD and we close this. Okay, and what are things I can learn? I can learn main effects. Okay, this is the practical data we collected, and the variation created was 93 to 125, which represent my production. I'll just quickly skip through a few things. Again, based on the p-values, see, one of the things we look at Whirlpool is PGQ. This is one of the things which we changed, because too much statistics into Six Sigma, make sure the engineer does not use it. So if you see a lot of things, I will not even use statistics, I'll go with the practical data of how I can make the decisions. This helped us in making sure all engineers starts using this. So I just put a simple variability chart. Again, this is the help of Jump software, which can put too many levels of variability. I can clearly see this is the region where I want to be, right? The mean is getting shifted. This is the direction I have to move, which is electrode minus, current plus, the old current and other scenarios. Similarly, the same statistics also same. And again, in Whirlpool, we use 20% alpha risk, just to make sure company takes all the producer's risk, versus we don't want any beta risk for the customers. So based on these factors, based on the normal probability plot, the first preference is given to practical analysis. Next comes all the quantitatives. So also based on the NPP plot, I could clearly see that the same 4 factors are showing up. And interestingly, for variation, electrode tip into hold time, interaction is also showing up. One of the things we are very clear is, if there is only one factor which is causing a problem, probably we would have already fixed that problem. A lot of times the interactions, whatever interactions we see here, that is the story of a Six Sigma project. And again, all the main effects plot, you can directly see what factor is affecting, and interaction plot where this. I'll run through a few of the DOE too. Again, we do only 2-level DOEs. We never do more than 2-level DOEs in the initial stages, because most of the mechanical components, right? It doesn't, the chemical industry, you have a very big curve, but most of the mechanical components runs in a linear fashion. Or at least with a linear graph, you can find which direction to move. So based on this, the 4 factors we took, again it's a 2 power 4 full factorial, because we want a steady interaction here. Again, I'll skip this. Based on that, you can start seeing that electrode tip and the current is starting interacting, and the interaction looks like this. And this is one of the requirement of Whirlpool. Again, we have to create a prediction equation to see how well you have predicted this DOE. So based on the prediction equation, I would draw a contour plot to see where the risk is. And probably this region might have a small risk where it is going less than 130. Again, to explain this, this is the x-axis, which is electrode dia, and current in y-axis. And these are the strengths we will get. And probably this is the potential region. Based on this decision, we went with implementing adaptive controls, which would maintain my current levels. Oops. Which will maintain the current levels. And we also finally run a confirmation runs based on all the settings, electrode controls, and whatever factors I left, like coolers, I make sure that that is kept at, we implemented a chiller. So based on that, I'm at an average of 140, around 143. Again, this is the monitoring data and electron data. And quickly, I will finish in 2 minutes with my control plan.
Yeah, after our confirmation, we have updated all the control points and we have created a OPL 1-point lesson which we can train the operators who are working in the line so that they can set the correct parameters, and these are all the standardization. As for the standardization part, we use 5 questions. Whether we'll ask, it's like a self-assessment. We'll ask 5 questions. In which stage are we? So we have improved from 44% to 76%. So we have enhanced, and currently this is the result chart. We have improved and we have reached to 0%. Last 3 months we had 0 defects which were due to the basket spot welding problem. So, thank you.
Anyway, congratulations once again. A lot of new tools also you have used it. There are a few questions. One is this basket weld strength, this problem you have taken based on your in-house rejections, that 1.1% what you mentioned. Is there any correlation between the customer complaints and this?
Going back to the first sheet, yes, we have customer complaints. There are few incidents. That is how the first chart is made. That is the reason why this parameter is very high. I have not shown the percentages or what is the defects reported, but that is how the correlation is created from here. So it takes FPY, CAL, even as a raw material if there is something wrong, and the GSAR is nothing but service incident rate. So all these numbers and the cost associated with it is taken here, and the severity.
That's true, but only my point is, because you stressed actually this project you have taken based on the in-house rejections.
Yes.
But my point is whether this also had a relationship with the customer complaints. Because of this, whether customers also had some problems, whether they have reported.
The rejection is high because if we suspect, we will reject it. And also there were occurrences, 1 or 2 occurrences report from the field. The reason why we are not taking that matrix is it's a lagging matrix. Your customer has to use for 6 months, 7 months to make that defect happen. So since this is one of the, like a safety requirement, right? So that is the reason why the scrap rate is very high. If we doubt it, we are going to stop it. We are not going to let it into the market.
Okay, only one suggestion is also, now this is also Six Sigma project. Maybe this 1.1 you can express in terms of the PPM. And then, because what happens is, our thinking, 1.1 means, oh, it's only 1 year, what is there? Would like that. That is one. Second thing is this thought map is a good idea bringing into. But my point is, see, 1.1% rejections are there, 98.9 is good with respect to this defect. Okay. Now, in the thought map, when you go, what are the new things you look at it? First of all, we should think of what are the causes because of which, maybe assignable causes or other things, because of which 1.1% of the units you found this defect. Okay. But don't you think, first of all, look at it, what are the causes because of which we got this 1.1% rejections, instead of straight away getting into the thought mapping?
Sir, thought map itself, that is what thought map helps with. Sorry, 1 minute. It asks the basic questions of how big is the issue, how to measure strength, or SME input can we increase the current, and small things. The reason is, when I start the thought map, I am already in the situation. So what thought map asks is, like probably I am not showing the bigger one because all the questions were there. Like, so each linear path is a sequential path. So all 5Y comes here. First one, what I want to ask is a special cause or common cause. It's a mean shift. It's a mean shift or a variation issue. So all the basic questions are asked, and then it asks us to use a tool to answer this. So I'm coming back and saying that it doesn't look, because MSC variation was also there, right? MSC of 26 kgf, we didn't measure it. So now we understood it's a mean shift issue more than the variation issue. Or bigger than the variation, I want to shift the mean.
That means that thought process, what we call it as a brainstorming for identifying the various causes. So that thought process you are standardizing it. In the sense, you are giving the inputs, what is that our thought process should be. And through these questions, we can look into and then identify the causes.
Yes,
I think that is what you are
and addition to this, because CFT gives lot of information. Sometimes what happens is when you take a thought and walk through, we only talk about this. All CFT members try to only focus on this. Now the first thing is all open. Again, when we close the project, they come back and see whether anything is left open. So like laser welding and seam welding. Now this was also discussed whether we can invest this and completely come out of this one. I don't even have to do a inspection for those. So those types of discussion happens in the linear paths.
Good. My other point is, because time issue also we have to consider. Now the DO, when you have done 8 factors, okay, 2 levels.
Yeah.
Now, anyway, you cannot go for full factorial, you have to go for fractional factorial.
Yeah.
But how do you decide those factors and the levels? What is the basis for that?
Sir,
To decide about those combinations, treatment combinations.
So how in COV we develop a situation called every spot I have to work first. Each spot the variation is coming. So I go back to the process map and study. Technically, I'll come back here. Okay, what are the things between each spots can vary, and and there are few things which is subject matter expert. People say no, Kamesh, these are you have to have these things. Without a current machine will not run. So few things are something like this. Okay, what are the things partially they can change. So electrode tip dia, varies between each spots of the current everything. Again, the seam it changes. Cooling temperature. Initially we had a air cooling, like it was a liquid cooling system, but it was open to air. Pretty much it's around 27 afternoon it increases, and again seam, squeeze time, weld time, whole time. Lot of things can change from point to point. Okay, let's take that one, because that I've established in COE saying that spot to spot these are things changing. If at all some y is changing, these x's has to change. Without these x's changing, that y will not change. So I'm just telling what is happening with this. So in first DOE, I'm also establishing this variation. Yes, I'm seeing a variation what I see in my CPK study. Means I have the factors which is creating that variation. So this established that I didn't miss anything here. There are few projects where this variation will not come, then we go back to the first DOE, add more factors, remove few factors in the first DOE itself.
Oh. But in the levels, do you take anything existing thing, or both are new levels?
Since we want to shift the mean, initially from the mean, I just wanted to go with few things at the minus, and few things if you see, current and other things we already know. If I go above this, it's black spark is coming. So current and other things I can't go top, I have to come down. Like skew time and other things, we already increases too much. It's already 800, so we want to slightly increase and see the seam gap, technically reduce the seam gap based on the COA design. So that is how we choose, and this discussion helps us to make sure we are okay with these levels. Variation or mention.
Good.
Thank you, sir. Oh, good.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.